I think we're live.
We're
But it always takes a
live.
second anyway, so we could
Yeah.
just kind of ease into this. But yeah, like every time I do a live show, I'm like, Amanda, you're gonna wake up early, you're gonna have your
No.
shit together. And spoiler alert, I have never had my shit together.
Yeah, I don't know what it feels like to have my shit together, so it's fine.
I I need it. I need more medication than I get.
Yeah.
The doctor won't give it to me.
Ah.
And like I was just like, oh fuck, oh fuck. It's like every
Mhm.
morning I do this to myself. I don't know why I do it.
Same. I'm always like, wait, I have all these things to do. I should sleep later.
That way it's future me's problem, you know? Like I'm right there with
Exactly.
you.
Future me.
Anyway, hi everybody. People are going to be trickling in as we go here. But as you can see, hey everybody, I have a lovely guest this morning or afternoon or whatever time it is where you are. So Jesse, why don't you tell the lovely people about you, who you are? Hi Beth, thanks for coming and hanging out. Jesse, tell the people about you, where they can find you, etc.,
All
etc.
right. Hey, I'm Jessie, and my booktube channel is The Bookish Mom. I do mainly sci-fi fantasy, but lately I have been interested in diving more into romance. So that's going to be a journey. So we'll see how that goes.
I like that. Okay, so that's something we're going to talk about. Again, like I don't have my
Yes.
shit together, and I'm like, I don't know, we're
never have
talking
my shit
fantasies.
together. Yeah, I never have my shit together. It's fine.
Okay.
I'm starting a romance journey.
Okay, I love that. I'm into it. Okay. And I know you read tons of fantasies. I feel like your
Tons.
fantasy list is going to be much more robust than my fantasy list. So I was like, you're a good person to have on a fantasy show.
Right.
Right?
It is my main genre.
Yes.
So I feel like fantasy romance would be a good move in for me.
Okay. Maybe I'll recommend you some stuff depending
Yes.
how smutty you want things.
I'm down for the smut. I actually read
contemporary fantasy might be a good place.
Yeah.
Or like sometimes they call it urban fantasy.
Yeah.
But I don't like calling it urban fantasy.
Yeah.
But usually not super smutty, but super like action and fantasy.
Yeah.
And then like gets
right.
pussy.
I know I read unpopular opinion. I read Akatar, and I was expecting that to be smutty. Just by like the way everyone talks about it.
It gets smutty.
I was like, okay, and then I was like, what is this boring vanilla fairy bullshit? And then I was like, no, read the rest of the series. I have yet to.
It builds.
I'm like, fine. Yeah, because I was like, what is this boringness? Like
I feel in the beginning, these were still technically getting put into YA sections.
Oh,
so
yeah.
eventually, like Sarah J. Maas is like, hold my beer. Like, I'm gonna get smutty. Like,
I'm down for that.
Yeah.
Like that's what I was expecting.
Yeah, like the new books in that series that aren't like the original trilogy.
One.
Like that's the Hold My Beer book. That was just like, oh, y'all want a smut? I'm ready.
Nice.
It's probably the smuttiest of them.
I'm down for that.
Okay. So, hello. Thank you for coming and hanging out.
Buying all the
Beth, we're kindred spirits.
I mean, I just buy all the books. And
yeah. It's a problem.
The thing is, too many.
Yeah, like I get them. Like here's the thing. Like I can't turn down a good deal.
Oh.
So if I go to a library book sale, they have a bunch of stuff. I'm like, well, I'm gonna get it.
Yeah.
But then, like, I've also had like a feeling I should try to go more digital. Because have you seen my shelves? There's chaos.
I feel you.
Yeah. Anyway, Side Changeling is constantly recommended to fantasy romance peoples.
Okay.
I think it's technically a paranormal romance because they have like shapeshifters and stuff in it. It's by Nalini Singh, so also author of color. So there's that.
Oh, love that.
But I don't know. Like I tried reading it a really, really long time ago, probably like 5 years at least ago, and I wasn't like crazy into it. But like I want to go into it now.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I'm not ready for it yet when I start reading it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
oh yeah.
Yeah. So I'm gonna come back.
Right.
Get your list ready.
Yes, get your list.
Do it. I literally did it this morning because I had a list in my phone. And then I realized, no, this isn't fantasy. That's not fantasy. That's sci-fi. This is horror. These aren't the right genre. So I'm being a purist today.
Oh, we're being a purist? Yeah.
And I whittled down my list because okay, here's an example that could be fantasy, but I took it out because I'm like, it's not.
Yeah.
Really fantasy was like Dread Nation by Justina Ireland.
Oh, I've been meaning
because it's zombies, and I'm like, I think that's horror, not fantasy.
I mean, maybe. I guess
magic. There's not magic. It's zombies.
Yeah,
so
it's zombies.
I don't know. I had to think for a minute.
Right?
Like,
it's
okay,
like
this is
fantasy, sci-fi, and horror just all kind of blend together in an amalgamation of.
Like for me, superheroes are usually sci-fi.
Sci-fi.
Because they have scientific things going on about, it's a genetic mutation. That's why I have superpowers.
Right.
Science-based.
But I still love it so much.
I know,
anything
but I'm
with
like,
superheroes. I know. Anything with superheroes, I'm probably going to try it.
Fair. Okay. So, Jessie, you are going to be my fantasy expert today because you read so many more than me. And maybe I'll tell you a little bit about like fantasy romance.
Yes.
Like we could do it.
We can do that.
And I'm very excited to have you on the show. I always want to have guests because like I get excited and then like I can't stop talking, but I do it anyway when I'm alone, but it's more fun with another person.
Yeah. It's more fun with someone else to talk to.
Yeah, exactly. Layla, hello.
Hello.
Hello, hello.
Oh, hi.
Yeah. All right. So, Jess, why don't you start us off? Give us like a favorite fantasy of yours, and we'll go from there.
All right. There's so many, but underrated, Queen of Blood by Sarah Bethdurst. Anything by Sarah Bethdurst, but this is her, like a whole trilogy. She does a lot of standalones though, and they're all adult fantasy. But she also does middle grade and YA. Like she writes everything. But this one is like kind of your magic school in the first book, but she's not like good at anything. Like she's okay. Like our main protagonist is
cool. Yeah,
she tries really hard and she's not that great, but she gets by and she's okay. Has like a group of girlfriends, like none of that girl infighting that we see in the typical, and I'm like, we love it. And like reluctant hero who's like, it's just, and then the second book is my favorite in the whole series because we end up with another POV character who's like a 40-year-old mom of two who takes zero shit from anybody.
I love fantasy soccer mom.
Yes.
Give me.
Yes.
Does she have orange slices too? I love that.
Yes, she's
I mean that not facetiously. Like I would love that. Yeah. Soccer mom fantasy lady who just gives everyone orange slices after they're done with all their magic. I love that.
I would read that.
Yes. Like I would be that person.
It's like I always want to know why does all these teens with dead parents go on quests? Like someone needs a mom there.
Everyone's an orphan.
Like, are you hydrated?
like, are you guys getting 8 hours of sleep? Like,
are you drinking water?
I just want both teams to have fun, everybody. Like, I become more and more of a soccer mom as like I age. I don't even have children. I'm just like I'll watch like football or baseball or hockey or something.
Oh,
and be like, I hope they're having fun. Like, I'm just like, oh gosh, or like, oh no, he got hit hard. Is he okay? Like, I'm just like full that.
My kids don't do like, my oldest does like cross country and biking. So they're not like, team sports, they're like timed sports. So like, we really are like rooting for everybody.
And just have a good time.
Let's go. We got snacks at the finish line.
That's the best though. It always sucked when I was a kid though, because like, I'm allergic to life. Like if we don't know each other super well, but we know each other well enough. We're friends. But like, I'm allergic to everything. Like I get shots for it. Like I go every month and get my shots. Like, and when I was a kid, I was super allergic to oranges. So I could never have the oranges. So now as an adult, like I'm like, everyone's getting an orange slice.
Right? It's so fun. So my allergist, I actually just went through the whole gambit. My allergist wants me to start getting the shots. And
You
I
know
just
what?
found out I have
Do
to
it.
carry an EpiPen
Oh shit.
for seafood. I love shellfish.
That was the
I've
one
eaten
thing
it
I
my
wasn't
whole
allergic to.
life. And I was started going to him. I'm like, I keep breaking out in hives. Not every time I eat shrimp, but like a lot of the times.
Yeah.
He's like, he did like a blood test. He's like, you're really allergic to like all shellfish. I'm just like,
oh.
my husband's like,
explains
it's
the
okay.
hives.
He's like, okay, I'll just eat enough for both of us.
Oh, good gracious. Yeah,
I
that
was
was
like,
funny. That's the one thing I'm not allergic to
Yeah.
at all, and I'm a vegetarian, so I don't eat
Yeah.
it.
And he's like, I'll just eat enough for both of us. I'm like, that's like the meats that I like.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm like allergic to the outside.
Oh yeah.
All of the trees and
Yeah.
all of the grass.
Yes.
Like tree nuts, because it comes from the tree I'm allergic to.
Oh god.
So different tree nuts, I have differing levels of allergic reactions to.
Oh,
So
it's the
like
worst.
I can like fuck with pine nuts for the most of the
Okay.
time. Like I don't really have a reaction to pine nuts. Almonds, like I'm okay with, but like, oh my gosh, walnuts or pecans, like pecan pie, I can't have.
Oh, that would hurt my heart. I do
Like,
love
it's not that
pecan pie.
I don't need an EpiPen. It's just like
Right.
it'll ruin my day.
Right.
Yeah.
I feel you. That's like my daughter in dairy, and she's 9. So she still insists on consuming the dairy in large enough amounts that it fucks up her whole day.
Yeah.
And my toilets. And I'm like, bro.
Girl, this is only going to be cute for like another year or two before you hit puberty, and then you're
Right.
not going to hype and be cute anymore.
Yeah, it's not even going to be fun. I was like, I buy all the dairy alternative stuff.
Yeah.
But like I buy like cheese sticks and stuff for like my son, and she will just like mow them down. And I'm like, you're gonna regret this. Not my body. You're gonna regret this.
Yeah. It's like at a certain point, you're just like, that's nothing I can do at this point.
Yeah, it's sort of like you make
gonna
your
do
own decisions. Like I'm not gonna tell you not to eat it, but I'm gonna tell you you're gonna eventually decide not to.
Yeah. Eventually, this is not going to be fun anymore. All right, let's see what's going on. We got way off topic.
Always. But you know what? That's how live shows go. It's fine.
That's how live shows go. All right.
Talking about our allergies.
Hi, Fit to be Red. Thank you for coming and hanging out. Oh, everyone's saying hi to each other. That's
I
what
know,
I love
I
about my
love
comment section. Everyone like says hi and like everyone knows each other. I love it. Okay. We're gonna hook you up. That's what we're here for. Someone else.
I know you love Sarah like me. She's such a nice person too. Like I've interviewed her. She's so nice.
Hey, John. Just carry the pen, Jess. Oh no.
I have the pen. Yeah, no lobster. I don't eat oysters either, but no scallops. That hurt me. I don't really eat lobster, but scallops and shrimp hurt me.
Yeah,
in my soul.
That's the only like as a vegetarian, like if I'm ever in a place where like there's nothing that doesn't have meat in it, like I could fuck with like a mussel or like a scallop because at least it has eyes. You know what I mean? That's like my one like, okay, like I will fucking suffer through that and it won't be that bad. Luckily I'm not allergic.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, but like that's like my one thing as like if I had to.
Right.
I could like get over it. Same.
It's
like I had my sinuses rebuilt like a couple years ago. Like I had to have surgery in my face.
Sounds like a good idea.
Inside of my face. They basically made all of my sinus cavities bigger, so they like chopped out pieces of it. So I have brand new shiny sinuses, and honestly, best decision because I can breathe out of both sides of my nose, which I hadn't been able to do in years.
Oh my god. Sounds lovely.
I know. What's that about? I'm too scared to fuck with pistachios because I don't know how allergic I'm gonna be. I think I'm fairly allergic because I know if I have like baklava or something, like it will ruin my day, which I think has pistachios in it. So I haven't like tried just to eat a pistachio to see, but I know like I can't fuck with baklava, and I think that has pistachios, right?
I think it does. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I haven't had it in so long. I love it.
Yeah, I live down the street from like a Greek church, and they do like their Greek day.
Yeah,
I'm like, I can't eat none of your food, pistachios and everything. love that I was able to watch this.
Oh.
Me too. Thank you for coming.
Oh.
City of Brass. Yeah.
So good.
That's on both of our lists, probably.
Yeah. It is. Mine's still over
City
there.
Of Brass.
I couldn't find. So I'm in the process of like construction and moving to a new office.
Yes. It looks so
like,
pretty. It's already pretty looking. I remember
I'm so excited. So I don't have all my physical books. They're just like chaotic right now. This whole
they're in the world.
Yeah, they're here somewhere.
There.
But City of Brass. Just
made both of our lists. It's gorgeous. I love it. Have you read Stardust Thief?
No, but I have it. Like I picked it up. I'm so excited. I've heard great things.
It's kind of like City of Brass light. Like if this is Coke, that's Diet Coke. You
Love
know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not the same. Like this is better, I think, but like it satisfies that craving still. Like Kirkland version of it. I
love that.
It'll satisfy your craving for that, but it's not. Obviously, City of Brass is better, so I don't know. But it's fun.
I'm excited to read it. I know a lot of people have really loved it.
It's fun. I liked it. I would read the next book in the series. It kind of ends on a cliffhanger, so you're like,
yeah. I got it in one of my like Fairy Loot or Illuma Crate boxes, and I usually take October to read like just book box books.
Okay.
To make sure I'm actually reading what I'm getting.
Yeah.
Does not.
I only have one book box, which is the book of the month.
Yeah.
So far, I'm good. I'm like almost like I like to check them off in the app. I am a list maker. Like I love checking them off in the app if I've read them or not, and then they give you prizes if you read enough books. So I'm like, I'm getting that fucking prize, you know.
Fairy Loot and Illuma Crate need to take note because if they had where it's like, oh, if you read this, check it off, and you can get a reward point or whatever, bitch, I'd read so many more, so much quicker.
Okay,
I need motivation.
My little reward page. Okay, so. Here's my bookshelf. These are all the ones I haven't read yet, but
that is so
Shelf
cool.
Slayer.
Love that.
I will be a shelf slayer of every 24 books. I'm at 19.
Look, that kind of stuff, like checklists are so motivational to me.
I know, and I'm like, because they give you a prize, but if you read 12 or something, you get a prize. Like I got socks or something. It's like little.
Yeah, it's like little, but.
What is this Shelf Slayer prize? Like,
right? Well, I know, like they do it for kids.
Yeah,
I read so many books because my daughter
so much
did it
as a kid because I read so many books.
Right? My daughter did it. I think it was like Barnes and Noble did a thing over the summer where it's like you read so many books and you fill it in, and then you bring in the paper and you get like a free one of these books for you, whatever your reading level is. I was like, we're doing that.
Yes. I love that.
And I was like,
more books.
Can I do that as an adult?
I wish.
If I read 5 books over the summer, can I also get a free book? Or like,
why not? Adults can have fun too.
They stop rewarding us.
You're too old. No one cares about you anymore. I don't know what shoe fly pie is.
Shoe fly pie?
I don't know. I have the internet. I could Google this.
That I also don't know what that is.
It has some type of it looks kind of like pecan pie-y. I don't know.
Oh. I mean, it
also says it's like a dessert. Not a dessert, a breakfast pie. And I like the idea of breakfast pie, but I'm not really sure what's in it.
I feel like all pies should be breakfast pies. I mean, apple pie, it's apples, fruit. It's fruit.
It counts. Yeah. But yeah, I could eat peanuts though. I could eat peanuts all day because they don't come from a tree.
Okay.
So I have no problem with peanuts. So there's that. The opposite nut allergy. I could eat peanut butter all day. Everyone's saying hi still. Love that. Bees and wasps. I don't want to test my luck because I got stung once as a kid. And I don't want to test it again.
Don't test it.
Hey, Rads, how are you?
Yeah.
Fair point. Fair. Don't eat wasps, everybody.
No, there's a dog when they catch them.
Luckily, my dog doesn't catch those. He tries to catch like the little beetles.
Oh yeah.
3:15 a.m. I know, because John's in Australia.
Mommy.
Yeah. Hi.
Got to the next level.
Good job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that.
So I got to the next level. Go you.
I'll cheer him on. Why not?
Right? Go you.
Okay, so baklava is either pistachios or walnuts. I'm allergic to both. So like, yeah, like baklava is not a go for me. If they made it with like almonds or peanuts, I could maybe fuck with it.
Yeah.
That's the B thing, I think.
Mm.
The Starless Sea.
I love the Starless Sea. It is somewhere in my sea of hardbacks over there.
Okay. I DNF'd, sadly.
I can see why. It is not one. It's one of those books where it's like, I don't recommend it to a lot of people because it's
an unusual writing style.
Yeah, it's weird. And like, I felt very stupid and confused 90% of the time I was reading it. I still feel like I need to reread it.
Yeah, I didn't read a ton of it, but I remember like every chapter started off with that guy. I forget his name. Jonathan Taylor Thomas, I'm going to call him. Jonathan Taylor Thomas is at the library. Jonathan Taylor Thomas is reading. Jonathan Taylor Thomas is doing this. I don't remember what his name is, but he's JTT now.
Yeah, that is his name. We love it. But yeah, and then it was like,
a lot.
It's like the stories, and then the story itself, and then the stories and the story itself start to like merge like part way through.
Like, I see why it's good and why people like it.
Yeah.
It's a me problem where I'm like, I'm not smart enough to try to figure this out.
It's like, very flowery. It was one of those where I'm like, I just have to be confused and just know that this is pretty. Like,
fair.
I just know it's pretty. There's a magical library and it's a story within a story within like a story. Like,
it's a story about stories.
It's a story about stories. And there's owls and seas and cats. Lots of cats. So, library, lots of cats.
This is a good segue, actually.
Ooh.
So, speaking of books that are amazing, but it's a me problem where I'm not smart enough to enjoy them fully. I'm pretty sure you're going to have the 5th season by N.K. Jemisin on your list, unless you haven't read it yet. Oh, no. Am I... Wait, I can't tell if I'm messed up or you're messed up. Someone's paused.
Yay!
Oh, there you are. Okay, I'm like...
We had a blip. We had a blip. No, but yes, that is on my list.
Okay.
It's another one of those, I can't recommend it to everybody, but...
I think it's genius. It has second person in it, which is difficult for everybody.
Oh, yeah.
But, like, I like it. I don't think I'm smart enough to fully enjoy it. But I put this one by N.K. Jemisin on my list.
I love it.
I loved it. I'm smart enough to get this one.
I love that. A lot of people didn't like it.
I loved it.
I loved it. I do love. Okay, I actually have.
That's another segue, though. Yeah,
I do have my copy
on your list. That's gonna be on your list. I know it, but I picked this one instead.
I love it.
It's also a little science fiction-y.
Oh yeah,
but like it's also Lovecraftian demons. So I'm like,
yeah, it's amazing. I can't wait for the next book. Like I
pre-ordered it.
Did you read it? I need it.
I feel like I'm calling myself dumb in this video. I'm obviously not dumb. It's just like my brain doesn't function that way with ADHD. Like I can't like.
There's a lot of stuff where I'm like, I'm not smart enough for this.
Yeah, my computation is not working to like absorb it properly.
A lot of sci-fi, I end up just like, if it is too heavy, I'm like, I don't know.
I got some good sci-fis because I'm the same way.
Yeah,
I got a couple. I
wanted
to talk about them today, but they're not. They're not fantasy.
They're not quite fantasy.
But one of them is technically could be fantasy though.
Oh.
I've called it a cheater sci-fi because it happens in space. There's spaceships, there's space battles, lasers, but people also have magical powers, so it's space wizards.
Is it Gideon? Because a lot of people say Gideon is like sci fantasy.
I think it's more of a horror book because they're literally necromancers.
I mean, I have it. I'm excited to read it.
Yeah. Oh, I liked Gideon, but Harrow, it takes a turn and you're just like, what?
Oh, no.
What? What is happening? So, since we're talking about cheater sci-fi, I have it right here, and I almost put it on this list, but cannot recommend enough.
Ooh.
A Big Ship at the Edge of the Universe. Anything by Alex White, actually.
Okay.
Incredible author. They wrote like a lot of stuff. They also wrote some stuff like in canon for like Star Trek and Alien and stuff. But yes, Alex White, incredible. I just read their latest book. I just finished it yesterday, and it's called August Kitco and the Mechas from Space.
Oh, that's just a cool title. Like,
right? It's so cool, but this one is like just giant space robots, so this doesn't even count as anything related to fantasy. But I really, really liked it. I love their books. So yes, this one, technically people have a part in their brain, so maybe it's even more sci-fi because it's scientific how they have magical powers, but like they still have magical powers.
They still have powers. Like it's
adjacent.
Yeah, it's adjacent. Well, adjacent. Like the 5th season, even I tell people all the time, I'm like, it is like sci-fantasy because it's like they have magical powers, but it's rooted in science because like orogeny,
science.
Like everything that she did, like talks about with like orogeny, is actually a real scientific like study of geology and earthquakes.
Yeah,
I didn't know that. I did not know that until like I started looking up, like, is this a real word or did she make it up? No, it's like a real thing.
It's like a weird like thing where it's like, I feel like it's fantasy, but like, I guess it's sci-fi.
Yeah.
It's more scientifically, fuck it.
And then it's also like dystopian. You're like, where's the line with like fantasy, dystopian, sci-fi?
Like, it's like dying Earth trope, which is like,
all of the above.
Whatever. You know what? This is our video.
Yeah, we can do what we want.
No one can stop us.
There's a lot of crossover. It's fine.
Yeah. I like to see this try to stop us.
Who gonna stop us?
Let's see. City of Brass, I think, is adult.
It's definitely adult, especially after book 1.
Yeah, it could be for younger. I feel like young adult readers could read it and enjoy it. It's nothing like super like, wow, that is adult in it. But like, I feel like it's geared. The audience is supposed to be adults, but younger people can read it too.
Oh yeah, because it's not. I wouldn't like. There's some romance in it, but I would not say it's like romance heavy. It's not. There's no smut. There's some fade to black in like book 3, I think.
Yeah, like I don't think like, are they Muslim?
Yes, they are.
Or is it like a fake Muslim?
I don't know. No, they're pretty because I know Chakravorty is Muslim.
Yeah, but I didn't remember if it was the actual like
he is
Muslim
Ali,
faith or if it was like a imaginary version of the Muslim
Ali faith. Is like, because he even mentions a lot of things, and I watched like an interview with her, and Ali, one of the main characters, he is pretty strictly Muslim. Like the rest of them, not so much, but like he is. They even talk about like the prophets, and it's very close to the actual Muslim religion, which is really cool. Like she used her own experiences with that.
I didn't know if it was like the real religion or she made up the fantasy version of the real religion.
Yeah, I think there's a few different things. Like it's not 100%, but like they talk about like the prayer and the call to prayers and like the prayer mats and
it's obviously
the hand like how they have to be like clean, like washing your hands before praying. Like it's really interesting how she does it.
So yes, love that, but I feel like it's also okay for younger readers.
Oh, definitely. I think it is. Like I would give it to my 16-year-old niece.
Yeah. I probably not like 16 and up. I think it's a fair estimate for like a readership.
Oh shit, she's 18 now, but you know what I mean.
When she was 16, she could have had it.
Like when she was 16, she got it. She comes over and raids my bookshelf all the time anyway.
There you go.
Cool aunt points.
Nice. Alicia, thank you for coming and hanging out. Dasha, coming and hanging out. Thank you for coming. All pies are breakfast pies.
I feel like all food is breakfast food or lunch or dinner. It does not matter what time of the day. I want to eat bacon and eggs.
Are we best friends? Oh
Like,
my god! Like I will eat pad thai for breakfast. You can't tell me. I can eat what I want when I want.
I'm an adult. I can eat whatever I want for breakfast.
Like, I don't only have to eat certain foods at certain times. I'll eat what I want when I want.
I'm grown.
I'm grown, exactly. Have you read The Night Circus and did you like it?
Me? Yes. Okay. I thought it made more sense than the Starless Sea. Like, it wasn't as whimsical and nonsensical.
Mm-hmm.
It was definitely more linear and made more sense, but it was still that real flowery.
I feel like it would be. I think that's like her vibe. Erin Morgenstern's vibe. It's like flowery, purple prose.
It is. And normally I don't like that. So like,
yeah, I don't know. I can fuck with it sometimes. Like I don't go out of my way for it, but like sometimes it's nice.
Right.
That's kind of where I am with it.
But, I feel like some people try to be purple prose and they just fall flat at it.
Yeah, it's just like, bless your heart, as the Southern people say.
Bless your heart.
Bless your heart.
I hear that a lot down here.
Yeah.
I say that a lot.
Zachary Ezra Rollins, there you go. Instead of Jonathan Taylor Thomas,
That's
but he's Jonathan Taylor Thomas now. If it was Jonathan Taylor Thomas, like, I would have loved that.
We should get him to narrate an audiobook.
If it was just him, like, oh my god, he lives out here in LA.
Oh, does he? I mean, I'm sure, but I know he hasn't been in anything in a long time.
I think he used to be a little. I think he used to get into some shenanigans.
Oh, I'm sure.
Like less shenanigans now.
Sorry,
I'm everyone like I don't know. It's LA. You're gonna see people around, so like he would get into some shit back in the day.
Yeah, we don't see very many people here in bumfuck Central Florida. But John Travolta lives up the road.
There you go. Yeah, he's a plane and stuff. He has to have a state where they let him just fly a plane into his front yard.
Yeah, that whole neighborhood that he lives in has like an airstrip and like everybody has to have an airplane to live in there. I'm like, I could never.
Yeah, well.
Money-wise, I could never.
Yeah. I don't even think I want my own plane. Like, what am I going to do with it? Anyway.
I can't fly. I'd be like, I can't fly.
Yeah. It's like a whole other set. You have to buy jet fuel. You have to buy a pilot for it, unless you're going to be your own pilot. But I'm like, I'm not buying a personal plane so I could fly it.
Right.
I'm buying a plane so someone can fly me.
So someone can fly me.
Exactly. Like, I'm not buying it. I can just buy a car and drive myself. Like, I don't need to fly myself places. Let's see. Someone else is a fan of City We Became. Excited about that one.
Love it.
100,000 Kingdoms by
That's
Jemisin.
the one I haven't read yet.
I don't think I had heard about it yet.
I've heard that it's her most like straightforward fantasy. That and Dreamblood.
Okay.
More so than like, you know, the fifth season's like out in left field.
Yeah, it's an opus, I would say.
Yeah.
A symphony, if you will, of you know, speculative fiction. Yeah. But it's a lot.
It is.
Yeah, it's divisive. People either really like it or not. I kind of liked it. It's just like they're interdimensional Lovecraftian demons trying to destroy cities who become people. Like,
yes, I'm so down for it. It's so weird. I love it.
So someone recommended Katie Robert. So Katie Robert writes some weird stuff.
Yeah.
But like that is spicy.
There's one of hers coming out, I think, that I saw that I wanted to try. It's like a new one.
She's currently putting out
vampire or something.
Oh, I don't know about that one. She's putting out this Dark Olympus series right now that I'm enjoying. But like, if you're a newbie to romance, this is maybe advanced studies because it is it is very smutty. So it depends how much smut you want. But yeah, I would say it's probably advanced studies romance. But she also puts out some like weird stuff. Like there's like
is she the one that did the like the Jafar?
She did.
One that I'm thinking I can't think of the name of it, but like
I know. I'm like, I don't know if I want to have sexy Jafar yet. But
I'm not ready for sexy Jafar. I'm not ready for sexy Jafar.
Let's see.
But
have we read Dawn by Octavia E. Butler?
I have not.
We're bad fantasy.
We're bad.
I suppose.
I have not read anything by I have purchased a lot of Octavia Butler books.
There you go.
But have not actually read them yet.
City We Became, I listened to it on audio too, and I very much liked it.
I've heard
it was a
the
good
audio
narrator.
is so good.
It was a good narrator right away. Like, got into like the rhythm of the writing, because I feel like that book is very musical in the rhythm of the speech of people and how they talk to each other. It's very musical. I mean, someone literally rap battles a demon to death.
Yeah.
Like,
that was the best.
So like, it's very like musical. It has a rhythm to it that you have to have the right narrator for.
I mean, how can you not like a book where there's rap battles against demons?
She rap battled a demon to death. Like, love. It's the more we say about this book, the weirder it sounds, though.
Yes, it does. But still,
like if someone says, "Oh yeah, they rap battle a demon to death," I'd be like, "Give me the book right now."
Yeah, same. Okay, that was Court of the Vampire Queen.
Okay.
That's what Court of the Vampire Queen is, the Katie Robert one that I saw coming out that like looked really good. And sounds like it'll be nice and very smutty.
It's gonna be smutty. That's just Katie Roberts' thing.
I mean, I'm down.
Piranesi.
I've heard. I haven't read that one yet either.
I've seen it. I have not read it.
Yeah.
There you go. It is. It's very Muslim.
It is. Chakravorty herself she's a Muslim convert. Yes. But she converted pretty young, like as a young teenager. She converted, and then she's also married to a Muslim man.
Mm-hmm. So, because she does, like, when you see your author picture, you're like, oh, Muslim? Like, she doesn't look like Muslim as we think about someone from that area of the world. Because it's very Arabian kind of set that know, has jinn and ifrits and stuff, but she doesn't look like a person from the area.
And I forget where she's from, but she's from the States, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. But
or Canada.
I feel like
from Canada.
Yeah, I don't know where she's from, but she did a good job. I really enjoyed all of it. So let's see. Breakfast for
dinner. So many nights a week I do that.
Yeah. Okay. Whole Foods breakfast hack. A box of bacon from the hot bar is like $2. It weighs nothing. Good to know.
Good to know. It is very much more romance.
It feels like it's going to be a love story.
It definitely is. Oh, the Lunar Chronicles are so cute.
I really liked them when I read them like years ago. They were very good.
I've only read the first two so far.
Is that fantasy though? There you go. Brought it up.
Got the Illuminate version.
It's very pretty.
My prized possession. I love this series. Yeah, it's definitely fantasy. It's gods and it's dark. It's
I know
dark. It's
I didn't want to read it because I checked the trigger warnings and I looked at the chapter and I was like, this is demented. I'm like, you know what? I don't think it's for me because it's too dark. But like I know it's good.
It's great. I mean? But yeah, I tell everybody, like, there's a chapter and you need to go, like, and it's literally just that chapter.
But it's a lot.
But it's a lot, and it's ripped from history. It is like straight. It is actually watered down version of what actually happened.
Yeah, like it reminded me of like Event Horizon, that movie.
I went down a rabbit hole looking up like the actual like opium wars and like the rape of Nanjing, and like I went down this rabbit hole after reading this to find the actual like historical facts, and I was like, that's like the watered down version. That is gross.
I know that it happened in real life. I'm like, I don't need to open that door
and
put that into my brain. So personally, for me, it's going to be too much. But like, I appreciate it for existing.
It's so good. There's some problems with the last book.
Was
not. I still gave it 5 stars because I love the series overall. So like, I was rating on emotions, but like, I could pick apart the last book and be like, this should have been 2 books. Because like you smushed
Yeah, I rate with my heart, and then I review with my brain.
Yeah,
that's where I go. Yeah, I'm like, I really, really enjoyed it. Is it perfect? No, but I don't give a shit. I own Daughter of the Forest, but I have not read it. Someone gave it to me, and I still haven't read it.
I've heard good things. Abby Salter. Abby really likes it.
Okay, I've heard good things about it. So, okay, here's my thing with this one.
I haven't started it.
I really, really like it. It's like The Godfather in Hong Kong with like superpowers. So, like, I love it. It's more about the Godfather, like family generational trauma with like a dash of like superpowers and stuff, you know? So be aware what you're getting with it, and it's incredible. But I think it's sci-fi because it's superpowers. And it's also they have scientific reasons why it works. And also like, this amount will do this. And if you overdose on it, like they have dosages of like the jade and stuff. So like I putting it into that's another one. I'm like, I put it into sci-fi.
Yeah, that makes sense. I've never heard anyone describe it that way.
Yeah.
But I have the first book and I've been meaning to read it.
Yeah. It's not like a magical power. It's something that comes to them from this jade substance, and they can measure it. There is like a science aspect of it. So that's why I put it there.
It's like magical cocaine.
A little bit. But like it's more like they can just wear it as jewelry, or some people will like do piercings, or they will like embed it into their skin and stuff.
Okay.
So it's like a whole thing.
I like it.
And like different people have different tolerances to jade, and some people become immediately like just like a fucking crack addict, and some people can have a lot more. Some people if they have so much in their body, they will have degenerative effects. So like I feel like it's measurable scientifically.
Yeah, that sounds very scientific. I like it.
But anyway, it's like that weird.
There's so much line blurring.
Yeah. Bone Short Daughter. There you go.
I haven't read it yet. Second book last night.
Is it good?
I gave 5 stars.
Well, it's on your list, obviously, but
I finished the second one last night. I gave it 5 stars. It was so good. Now I need book 3. That's the problem. That's the problem with reading series that are not completely done yet. Is it's like, okay, now how long do I have to wait? Oh, we have a visitor. Good job.
I just have to start in the lock actually just unlocked.
Good job. Hey,
good job.
Get pants.
He's really proud of himself.
He is very proud of himself for getting to this next level in this game that he's playing.
I love that. Yeah, it's one of those like in-betweeny books. It can go both
But
ways.
This one I would say is kind of sci-fantasy too, because it's like there's constructs that are made out of like shards of bone, and like you carve them, but it takes a lot of like, okay, we have to it's very Frankenstein-esque in parts of it, because you're literally building things out of body parts.
Okay.
So there's like so much like Frankenstein inspiration there, but then also there's like magical talking companions that give you magical powers.
Okay. Love that.
We love a talking animal companion.
Like, have you read The Bone Orchard?
No, not yet.
It's similar to that.
I want to.
It's also kind of, it's like take dissociative identity disorder, but make it fantasy.
Nice.
It's
and
like
I love bone magic, because like another one I had was The Bone Maker, also by Sarah Bethdurst. It's a standalone adult fantasy, and it's bone magic.
Lots of bones.
Lots of bones.
We're going to Bone Town.
We're going to Perfect transition into fantasy romance. This one's cool though, because it's old. It's old people. Like, it's like the teens that saved the world, but 25 years later after they saved the world.
Okay.
So, like, one's crazy, one's rich, one's a recluse, like...
Yeah.
And
they
never
never, like, do the follow-up on those. Yeah, they never do the follow-up.
Yeah, like, there
is... the world
and they're like, hey, 25 years ago, this group saved the world, and then now this is the story you're getting. I love that. It's very get the band back together.
Yeah, there's like Chosen Ones by Veronica Roth. I think it's like that.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Kings of the Wild, I think it's called. That's kind of like a getting the band back together thing, but it's more fantasy.
This one's definitely fantasy, and it's so fun. If you like
I enjoyed it too.
70s rock music and like
it would have an
Dungeons
epic
and Dragons. It did.
I enjoyed it because it's just like insane,
Yeah.
and it's not trying to not be insane.
No, it doesn't take itself seriously.
Yeah, like I read it with Leanna from Leanna's Library back in like the beginnings of the Blades and Bodice Rippers book club, and I don't think she liked it, which I don't
Leanna. Hey, it's Leanna. We love her.
I love her, but she is hard to please.
She is. We have like some similar tastes, but mostly no.
Yeah.
The Venn diagram doesn't touch in very many places.
Yeah, but there is like a little.
There's a small.
There's a juicy center. The Venn diagram.
But yeah, Kings of the Wild is just fun. I mean, there's a wizard who makes like erection magic potions. So like,
it's silly in a fun way. I thought it was fun, so I enjoyed it. We were talking about Bone Char Daughter. Also, hey, Angelaria, thank you for coming. Oh, hi. Everyone says hi. I love that.
I love it.
You know what? The first, but I have it.
Ooh.
It is enormous. Girl, the audiobook is 41 hours long. I was astounded. I was like,
that's insane.
I maybe not want to read it after, honestly. I'm like, 41 fucking hours.
How long is I don't audiobook a lot, but like I've read all the
your kid can't hear me. Why? Because I just said
no, not at all.
Okay.
Well, it's fine though, because like I don't censor myself.
Fair. Okay. I'm just like, I don't want to be the bad aunt.
What was it last year? 3rd grade? My oldest daughter, she's in 4th grade now, she's in 3rd grade. I got a note home, they're like, hey, your daughter dropped the F-bomb in the bathroom at school. I'm like, well, what the fuck? And she's like, Mom, I'm like, just not at school, dude. She's like, I didn't say it. I said, what the fuck? I'm like,
I was in the bathroom. It's not like I said it to everybody.
Yeah. There's just a bunch of kids. She's like, and someone slit. Like, it was like a whole thing. And I'm like, dude, just not at school, bro.
It's like.
And not in front of your grandparents. Like, those are
Yeah. It's just like, there's better shit to worry about than someone saying fuck.
Right.
You know? Like, did your kid beat someone up? No, they just said, fuck. Who cares?
Like, all I got was like
cares?
a little sticky note. Like, she didn't really get it. It was just like a little sticky note. Like, hey, FYI. I don't know where the fuck she heard that from. Like,
I know. People get upset for things that like aren't worth getting upset over.
Right.
But anyway. But yeah, 41 hours long. I was like, oh my God. Like, I can't with it. Kings of the Wild. It is. I get that. I vibe with that. A bit more R-rated, I would say, but yeah, kind of the similar humor.
Yeah. I wanted to.
It's fun. It's fun. It would have an epic, classic rock soundtrack to it. All AC/DC. All the time.
Yes, I have, and it's still. I like it. Not quite as much as the first one, but I love it because it's all 80s music. And then he has a 3rd one that he's working on. That's going to be like 90s hip hop inspired. Down.
Shut up.
No, right? And he's another one that like he's just such a nice person.
Okay.
Like the author's really nice. Like I've talked to him. I was in like a group interview with him with like a couple other people. He's just so nice. Like
I love that. So,
and you can also listen to his Spotify playlist. Like he shares them on his website, so you can listen to them as you read.
I love that. I love that so much. I had a good time with it. I thought it was fun.
Yeah. I'm trying to figure out how long.
I just stacked up this whole big stack. I can put my arms on it. That's how you can tell how tall it is. But all of these could be YA adjacent. So I'm just going to plow through them.
Yeah.
I'm going to plow through it.
We like that.
First, Spinning Silver by Naomi Novik.
I have it. I haven't read it yet. I love that cover. It's
really good. I very much enjoyed it. For me, it was a bit sentimental because, like, A lot of the characters in it are Jewish.
Oh.
So like a lot of like the little traditions and stuff reminded me of my grandfather. So like it was kind of like, oh, grandpa, you know.
Aww.
So like it reminded me of being a little kid and like doing kind of some of the same things. Not that like I'm like a quarter Jewish. I'm not very Jewish, but like I remember doing like the menorah with my grandfather and stuff. So like it kind of was sentimental for me, but like I really enjoyed it.
I've heard good things. I want to read that. I've heard such good things.
It's really good. I enjoyed it quite a bit.
And it's a standalone.
Yes,
that's another one I haven't read yet, but it's like back there.
It's so shiny. Oh my gosh. But yeah, it's weird. Like this is a weird book.
That's what I heard.
In the best way.
But I love weird.
So yeah, that one's on my list. It's very good. This one is a bit divisive. Deadly Education by Naomi Novik.
Again, haven't read it. I own it.
So here's the thing.
I've heard all
there's controversy.
Yeah,
but
I've heard that.
If you read the book in context, it's obviously making fun of that. It's not meaning it seriously. I feel like it's a dark comedy, like a black comedy kind of thing, where you're just like, oh, like you groan because you know it's fucked up, and that's the point. So they say fucked up stuff, but it's fully meant to be fucked up in the context, and that's why it's funny. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's not like we mean that. And then one of them was kind of insensitive, so she did apologize.
Right, I remember that.
That was probably not the best look, but
I've heard
a lot of the humor in it.
I want to read it.
I enjoyed it. It's fucked up on purpose. Where like everyone's supposed to think it's fucked up. No one's supposed to think like, oh, that's not good. Fucked up.
Yeah.
The whole point is it's fucked up.
The whole point. That's the point.
Yeah, the whole point of it is it's fucked up. Underrated book that I don't think enough people have read. There Will Come a Darkness.
Oh, I just read that the other day. I liked it. I didn't love it. But I haven't read farther in the series.
I mean, it starts off with her killing a diddly priest, like a priest who diddled people.
Yes.
There's like,
that's
the beginning of the book.
Yeah. It really did hook me from that. And I'm like, she's doing what?
I mean, considering this is a YA, and like this is pretty adult for YA.
Yeah, it is. I agree. So, it was fun. I love prophecy stuff.
I liked it quite a bit. I read the whole series though, and I liked it.
I haven't read the next. I've only read that one, the first one.
I feel like the door is open a little bit if she wants to do another book in the series.
Oh, okay.
But Legendborn.
Yes. We love
I'm obsessed. I pre-ordered the next book already, of course. But like it was one of those books I finished reading it and you're like, oh wow. I closed the book and you go, fuck. Like that was phenomenal. Like King Arthur legends are so hard to do.
Oh yeah.
Like, I try them all the time because I always get excited and I always disappointed. And then this one did not let me down because they brought in so many other elements.
It was so good.
I loved it so much.
I did too. I'm waiting for book 2. I needs it.
I know. I pre-ordered it. And then Ember.
Oh, love.
I
still need to read the 4th book. I just finished the 3rd one recently.
The 4th book's like fine. I don't know. They went down like a rabbit hole that I wasn't like crazy into, honestly. But like the 3rd book is my favorite book of the series.
Yeah, I loved the 3rd.
Frankly, the 3rd book of this, I should have pulled that one out. Torch Against the Night.
Yes.
But like that is one of my all-time favorite books ever. Because Helen is one of my favorite characters.
I love her.
She's my favorite character in the series. And that's like
a
Helen heavy book.
Yes, it is. And I love it.
Loved it so much. That's one of my all-time favorite books.
It's like I like the romance and like Lion, but like Helene, like
she goes through some shit.
She goes through it.
And it's mainly the one scene where she says the emperor is dead, long live the emperor, while she's slitting someone's throat.
Yes.
Spoilers. Sorry.
Right. Sorry.
He deserved it. She's not killing like a nice guy.
Really? Because it's like it is, but it's like you don't get it out of context.
From book 1.
Oh yeah.
Like if you're surprised he's getting murdered, like honey.
Right. Man, and what they do to her family, like, look.
The Aquilas, the Helen Aquila family, the whole line, like, even her sister is crazy great.
Right? Oh, I love her sister.
And they're very different people, but, like, they both have that, like, Aquila tenacity. And I was like, anyways, sorry.
So good. No.
But like, book 3 of that series is so fucking good.
So good. I need
So
to read the
good.
last one, but like,
if that was the first book of the series, I would have been like, fuck.
right?
I would have like loved it just if that was the first book of the series. It's so good. Anyway, moving forward. So it's kind of a romance, but Shadows Between Us.
I haven't read that one.
You know what? This is a surprise me book because it was recommended to me from Madison over at Princess of Paperback Princess.
Oh, okay.
She told me to read it. And I was like, okay. And I did it for like a year. And then I finally read it. And I was like, fuck, this is good. It's a standalone too.
Oh.
It's a standalone.
I'm always looking for good standalones because like
it's like an evil king and queen love story, like how they fell in love with each other, but they're bad guys.
I love that.
Like, here's the first line of the book that will tell you everything you need to know about this character. This is our heroine. They never found the body of the first and only boy who broke my heart, and they never will.
Down. Love it.
Like, eventually, the evil king love interest finds out that she killed that guy, and he's like, you killed him? Nah, whatever, fuck that guy. Like, that's his whole response.
Love
like,
it.
Whatever, fuck that guy. I would kill him too. And, like, that's how they bond. Like, they're both bad guys.
We love that.
They're terrible people, and I'm like, I root for them.
I need that.
They're so unapologetically villains.
I love that.
And of course, I had to put in.
I'm just now about to start that one. I didn't love the first trilogy.
Okay, here's the thing. You're either a duology person or you're a trilogy person. I am a duology person through and through.
Good. So that's what I keep hearing. Everyone's like, oh no, even if you didn't like it. No, which I didn't really.
It's good to have the foundation.
But like, yeah, they're like, just have the foundation, and then you will love. Because everyone's like, you will love Six of Crows. I'm like, all right, all right.
Yeah, this is like morally gray heist kind of story, and like
I've heard a lot of like it's more of a more YA version of Mistborn when it comes to like with the heist and stuff. I'm like,
I don't know. I
think
wouldn't
it's probably
say there's a parallel there.
No, I think probably just because they're both heists, and anytime there's a heist, people like to compare stuff to each other.
Yeah,
even if it's not really similar.
I don't get the same vibe. Like, okay, this is gonna sound so hippy dippy, but like how my brain works, I'm like they're not the same color because like sometimes stories relate to a color for me. And like Mistborn is very like blues and purples, and then this one is very like reds, oranges. Okay. Like it's much more bold, I would say. The other one is a bit smoother. I can't use actual words that mean anything to anybody.
But that makes sense.
You know, it's a very smooth, flowy book, and this one is very much just like drums.
Okay.
So like it's a different
that's
vibe. The rhythm, like this is the rhythm section. That one's not that one's like the other section, the melody section.
The melody. Yep.
That's it.
That is also spoiler. Another favorite is anything by Brandon Sanderson, like the Mistborn. Not anything. I've read some duds.
Yeah, I don't.
I know
do
you
Brandon
won't
Sanderson
read him
anymore.
Yeah,
I did read the Mistborn series back in the day, and I did
remember
enjoy
you talking about that. Which
so there's nothing against his like talent. Obviously, he's a talented fantasy writer, and I read the Mistborn trilogy, enjoyed it. I thought it was very very good. Although it is fantasy, but like again, it goes into that scientific place.
His other books do too. So I know you won't read them, but like his other books dive very fantasy.
Oh, that's like that weird section where it feels fantasy, but like the magic system in it is very much quantifiable.
Yes.
And like scientific. So it's like
all of his magic
putting him in sci-fi feels wrong.
Right.
You know what I mean?
All of his magic systems are pretty much like that, I feel like.
Yeah.
And speaking of long audiobooks, all of his Stormlight books, dear Lord, 45 hours for the shortest one.
Yeah, those ones are a lot. But anyway, we're gonna move past that one. Let's see. I'm going back to comments just for a bit because I just see like my ticker going, and I'm like, oh gosh. Okay. Okay.
It is good.
It's really good, but you know what? The second book is coming out in November.
Soon, yeah.
So if you just want to wait a couple months and then this marathon,
Yes.
that's an option. Then you have to wait for the third
trilogy,
book.
Isn't it?
So you'll still have to wait for something, but like, yeah, you could at least go forward. Hey, Juliana, thank you for coming. FT Lucans is a YA fantasy. Oh, this is Ever After.
Ever
Fantasy
After.
Archetype. Okay. Killing the Evil Lord. Oh, begins.
Yeah, I love that.
I love that it begins with that. That sounds really cool. Subverting tropes. The villain one. Oh, Shadows Between Us.
Oh yeah.
At least it's short. It's like a little under 300 pages. You can read it in a day. Like it's
all I think of when I think of gown descriptions is like Wheel of Time.
There's a lot of gowns in it.
There's a lot of just descriptions.
Yeah, there's a lot of gowns, but like she also is very devious, and she's like, "Oh, the king's favorite color is green, so everyone's wearing green. I'm wearing black, and I'm gonna stand out." And it works. Like she is so manipulative, and you're like, "Oh my gosh, you both are horrible people," but I love you.
But I love it.
I know. They're interesting to read about. They're not likable. They're interesting. That's the key.
I like that.
Well-written female villains.
Female villain.
Yes. There you go.
Evil female queen.
There you
but
go.
she has good motivations. Like, you don't like her. I think all of Sarah Bethdurst's villains are not what I would say are sympathetic villains, but it's like, you get why they're doing the bad shit, but like they're going about it the evil wrong way, and you're like, we still want to kill you, but like I kind of understand you're at least reasoning.
That makes a good villain, though.
Everybody, yeah.
If this is someone who's evil just because, like, I'm evil, I want power. So the fuck what?
Yeah, so what
are you gonna do with it? Like, if you have like a reason why you need this to achieve your goal, if it's all evil or not, then you're a good villain. You have a motivation. You have a story arc, rather than just I am here to be evil. La la la.
Yeah, there's too many villains that are evil just to be evil, and that really annoys me.
Or they just want
most
power.
Of them. Yeah, and you're like, okay, same.
Oh, what does he want? Power. How fucking boring.
Right. Like I want to hear that you're a villain. I want to
do this, so I need power to do it. What does he want to do with his power? It just has power for fucking what?
Yeah, right.
He's gonna sit there, do nothing after
and
he
do nothing.
It.
It's like I want to be like, you're the villain because you're, somebody killed your whole family, but now you're getting revenge, but you're doing it in the wrong way. But now you're the villain, like.
Yeah, you want a lawful evil villain if you're gonna do a D&D alignment.
The Fireborn series.
Fireborn. Oh, I love that. I'm gonna read. Was it Fury Song? What's the last book of the series?
I just finished it.
I'm reading it next month.
Die. You're gonna die. You love it. We love it.
Oh my gosh.
I cried.
I don't meet other people who like it. I'm so happy right now.
Like, it is so good. And it's the villains in that's what I thought of with the villains in that, because it's like in the first book, you're like, it's the revolution, we overthrew the evil people, but like, is the new one just any as bad? Better? Like, it's like the same badness with different flavors.
It's so weird that it's a YA series.
It's
so complex politically. And like the way the characters are written, where they're very complex and like no one's just one thing. Everyone has conflicting ideologies. Yeah. And it's like, this feels like very much geared towards adults that just have young characters in it. Because it's not a YA series. It's mismarketed.
I agree. I totally agree. Like,
and also people think there's going to be more dragons than there are. It's really a moody book about feelings that also has dragons.
Yeah. We love the dragons.
I do, but it's not like a book about dragons that has moody feelings. It's a book about moody feelings.
The moody feelings, there just happens to be some dragons that they ride.
But like, the end of book 2 was like, fuck. The end of that book.
Right. I can't wait for you to read the next one though, like the last one, because
did it stick the landing?
She stuck the landing. She stuck the landing. I like a bittersweet ending though.
Okay.
Like, in some fantasy books.
I pull that out. I don't know where it is on my shelf. I should put that in this list. That's a fantasy. There's fucking dragons in it.
It's dragons. There are
It's a fantasy
dragons. I feel like some fantasy books, or just books in general, like end everything too neatly, especially in YA.
Mhm.
It's like the stakes are so high and nothing bad happens to our main character. Like everything ends up with sunshine and rainbows. Like so many of these that are my favorites are like, oh, they
Prepare
all have
to
pretty
cry.
fucked up endings. Like, yeah.
Book 2?
Oh, I've heard.
Prepare to cry. Doesn't end well for everyone.
Yeah. But it shouldn't end well. No, they shouldn't end well. Especially if it's like, it's a war and a revolution and like all these high stakes. And you're like, but everybody ends up together with somebody. And then everybody's alive and happy at the end. Like, I don't know about that.
I don't mind it because part of me, like, again, I'm just becoming a soccer mom. I'm like, oh, you kids had fun. Here's orange slice. Like my orange slice giving half is just like happy for them.
Right. I agree. But then my cynical half is like, but more people need to die and break my heart.
That's unrealistic.
Like I want to feel things.
Yeah.
Like the end of the there's so much wrong with the last book in the Poppy War series. Like I could do a whole rant on Burning God. I loved it and rated it 5 stars with my heart and soul, but my brain knows how I would fix it because there's so much wrong. But the very end, the way she ended it, stuck the landing and had me bawling.
Nice. I'm sorry. I'm like, oh, like Lethal Weapon 4. That's the weirdest like connection. But like Lethal Weapon 4 is the worst one of the Lethal Weapon series, but hot damn, did it stick the landing.
I mean, you're not wrong.
I'm sorry I went there with that. I was like, that one stuck the landing. Yes. I just was talking about that yesterday with my boyfriend. Because we watched the whole Lethal Weapon series this summer. We've been doing a summer blockbuster thing where we just watch like the cheesiest 90s movies we can find.
I love those.
And we just finished Lethal Weapon. And I was like, oh, Lethal Weapon 4 was really bad the whole time. But like, hot damn, they just stick the ending. Like, I'm like, yeah, you know what? That was a good ending for that series after all.
Yeah.
It took a while to get there. It has Jet Li in it. Like,
yeah. Anything with Jet Li. I like Jet Li movies.
I like Jet Li too. He's underrated.
He is.
He's an underrated action
and he's
star.
in a lot of really good movies.
Underutilized. Anyway, I have 3 more books in my stack, and then I'm just going to let you pound through yours. And then we'll talk romance quickly.
We pretty much showed most of mine.
There you go. Blade itself?
Oh, I have it. I actually just got it, and I am actually planning on starting it in the fall.
Okay. So I will say the Blade itself of the original trilogy, this is the one that fucked me up.
Yeah.
I had to stop reading for like a few days. Because like it hit a really dark emotional moment and I wasn't expecting it to get that moody. Because it's so sarcastic and gallows humor the whole time. And then you hit like a real emotional moment. I was like, fuck. Oh, like it really fucked me up for like a couple days. So it's very good. I've read all of the books in this first world. There's like 9 books. I've read them all. So
I'm excited to finally get into.
Leanna made me read it. I really enjoyed it. However, there's
that Leanna diagram.
I made her read Tessa Dare, and she loved Tessa Dare. So like, you know, our Venn diagram. But okay, so there's 9 books, right? Yeah. There's an original trilogy, a second trilogy, and there's 3 standalones in the middle.
Okay.
Of the 3 standalones, my favorite book is one of the standalones, and it's no one's favorite book, but it's my favorite book, and it's called Red Country.
Oh, I've heard of that one.
It's a Western.
A lot of people don't like that one.
I know, I love it. It's my favorite.
It's Western.
It's a Western, but like it's so good. And my favorite character is this guy called Logan Nine Fingers.
Okay.
Because he has 9 fingers because he's like basically a berserker, if you want to like put a label on him. But like he's also kind of the boogeyman. Nice. For the rest of the series, even after he's not like around anymore, people are like, I saw the Bloody 9. And like he's like the boogeyman afterwards. So, like he's my favorite. And Red Country is all Logan Nine Fingers.
Love
it. So maybe that's why I was like really
maybe that's why.
Anyway, I liked Red Country. I think I'm the only one. of the Sarah J. Maas worlds, I liked Throne of Glass, that series, better.
So I read the first book.
It takes a bit to get going.
And I was like, what is it? Like, I was bored. But I'm like, I keep hearing the same thing, like, keep reading, because, like, the first one's just not as good.
You know what? I would say push through the second book, too.
Yeah.
But once you get to book 3 forward, it picks up steam a lot.
It picks up.
Like, book 2 might make you angry because they kill off a character for seemingly no reason.
Mm.
And it's like, that's not a good look. But this is my favorite. I think it's book 6 of 7. So I pulled out this one because, like, this one is also like, look, this is a chonker of a book.
Yeah, I love it.
This is the paperback and it's just chonky. Like,
oh that is chonky.
But very good. And then I had to put in Nevernight, although there are problematic elements with it.
I DNF'd Nevernight. Like 50 pages.
Okay. It's not for everybody.
Make it far. Yeah.
Not for everybody. I enjoyed it very much, but there are problematic elements that should be addressed.
Oh, yeah. I've heard, like, I ended up spoiling it. Like, I was like, okay, I'm DNFing it. But when I DNF, I like to go find every single spoiler I can.
The spoiler reviews, yeah.
Because sometimes they will make me re-pick it up.
Okay.
Like, spoilers don't bother me.
They don't either for me. I'm like, I'll still read it. I still want to see how they do it.
I still want to see how, like, I'm the person that I will sometimes I still do this, but especially when I was younger, I would read the last page first of a book.
I used to do that. I would read the last sentence. I would like read the last sentence.
I want to know, like, I want to read like the last like paragraph or like the last sentence, and then I would start
do that
it.
Too.
Every once in a while.
If you continue on with it, don't do it for this one.
Yeah.
I read the last sentence of the book too, and it was like a major spoiler, and I was like, oh, what?
Right.
What? I wasn't ready. It was like 0 to 60.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Anyways, there's of course many more books that could be on this list that I simply didn't pick because they're on my up top shelf and I couldn't reach them.
Yeah.
But anyways, yes.
So some more of mine. I actually don't have a physical copy of it because I read it on ebook, but it's self-published and it's Dragon Mage by M.L. Spencer. Oh my god.
Okay.
It is so good. Like, it's a self-published fantasy. Book 2 should be coming out sometime soon. And it has an autistic main character.
Okay.
And it's done so well. Like, she handles his, like, the writing of him so sensitively and so well to the point where it's like, it's not a caricature.
Mm-hmm.
It's just how he is.
I love that.
And I love it. And he ends up being, and he's the hero.
Nice.
And you're in his head and you absolutely love it. And and there's dragons. There's
I would assume
dragons.
With the title being Dragon Mage. I assume dragons.
But it's not as big on the dragons as like you would expect it to be. Kind of like Fireborn. Yeah. In that way, where it's like there are dragons and they ride dragons and bond with the dragons, like, you know, we expect, but it's not even until like the second half of the book. And it's a chunk. Like, I read it on ebook, and it's like 900 pages.
Oh my gosh.
Like, it's big.
Yeah, that's a big boy.
It's big, but I love a good self-pub. Like, we love a good indie author and self-pub. And also, Dragonbird and the Fern is, I forget the name of the author, R.L. Ruckert. I believe is her name.
I can't help you.
And it's a standalone like YA fantasy romance with no smut, and our main character is dyslexic. And like it shows her trying to like learn a language because she's like her sister is murdered at the beginning of the book, and then so she has to marry her sister's like betrothed because it's arranged marriage, but he's from another country. So she's like going over there and like trying to solve her sister's murder while also trying to like learn this language because like she can't speak to anybody except like the one person that's trying to teach her who might be trying to manipulate her and not teach her correctly. And it's so good. And like my daughter's dyslexic.
Okay.
So I'm like seeing that and like making that the hero. So good. And it's a standalone, which and it's just it's a sweet romance too. It's pretty romance heavy, with like fade to black, but it's It's just so cute. And then I just finished the second book in the Jasmine Throne, the Oleander Sword.
I just got Jasmine Throne. I haven't read it yet, though.
It's slow, but it's good. Like, it's very, like, slow-paced, political, lots of build-up.
Well, so is City of Brass.
Yeah.
Like, that's kind of same.
Yeah. But once it gets to the end and you're like, and then the end of Oleander Sword, I was like, okay, next book, please. Like, kind of a cliffhanger, but you're like, okay, now how are they gonna fix this? It's a how are they gonna fix this moment.
How are you gonna fix what you broke?
How are we fixing this?
Oh my goodness.
But they're all so good. Like,
that.
there's so many.
Yeah. There's just, I mean, we could talk for hours, honestly.
I know. We guide.
So Robin Hobb. Have you read Robin Hobb stuff?
I haven't, but I've been collecting all of the Elderling books because I find a lot of them at my local used bookstore. So, like, I have, like, a collection of them, like my little dragon hoard that I'm like, I'm going to start reading them.
I've only read Assassin's Apprentice, but I liked it a lot.
Yeah.
So, it's good. Like, I get it. I get the Robin Hobb hype.
Yeah.
By Sleeping Beauty retelling. Yeah, that is a lot, and I don't even really want to read it. Like, I've been doing the Vampire Chronicles from Anne Rice, which, like, a lot of, hey guys, if you're new and you just found me through those videos, hi. But, like, a lot of people are coming over because of those, because I've been doing one a month for Drunk Classics.
Oh yeah.
So I get very drunk and I talk about those books.
That sounds like a good time.
They're so fucking nuts. Like,
even compared to the movies, I've heard.
They start off like a narrative, and then they just like, fuck that. We're going crazy, guys. Like, who cares? Like, I still have to read the next book. I'm going to be reading it very shortly and doing the video on it, but like, Tale of the Body Thief. I'm like, I don't know what's going to happen. I'm so like nervous
that just
about
sounds,
it.
Even the title makes it sound nervous.
And none of them have like a good blurb. They're always just like, hey, Lestat's here and he's doing stuff.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know what's happening in this book. The blurbs tell you nothing.
Right.
So I'm like, I don't know what's happening.
You're
but yeah,
just going in blind.
I think she wrote under a pen name like A.M. Roclair or something.
Oh.
I forget the name of it, but something like that. And those are gross.
Oh no.
It's a lot of dubcon, non-con romance, and I don't fuck with that.
Yeah,
I'm not trying to yuck someone's yum. There's a lot of books that have that, and people like them.
Me.
Not for me. I like a lot of consents.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just such a top. Like, I can't fuck with
that. I agree.
No. That's not gonna happen. Anyway.
It froze, buddy.
So, Assassin's Apprentice. Frankly, a little bit bored by Fitz.
I've heard that though.
He is a little bland of a character. Like, let's be real. I think that's his whole point, though. He's supposed to be a little bland. By the end, he kind of like picks up some steam and becomes a little less bland, plain toast, so to speak. He gets a little jelly at the end. Someone puts jelly on his toast.
I've heard that.
I think it's more like erotica, I would say, but like I don't think they're hot either. I think it's dubcon, non-con, and I'm like not fucking with it. So like people try to read it, and I'm like, I'd rather not personally. Yeah. I like the audiobook quite a bit. The audiobook narrator for those is incredible. Love him.
I've heard really good things.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so Farseer, read live. Okay, there was this other series.
That's the one
I'm most series.
That's the one I'm most interested in. Actually, I have Ship of Magic, and I'm like, I need to get through the first series.
Is it like a piratey thing? Like,
I think it on a boat? Yeah, it's like I'm pretty sure it is, and like it just appeals to me more. And it's like the boats are alive, or they're like sentient.
Okay, into that,
right? I'm like, I need this in my life.
So other people are not clicking with Fitz either. Fitz is a little plain toast. Like, I think that's the whole point of his character.
Yeah, but I've also heard a lot of people that didn't love it loved Live Ship. So
Yeah. So maybe pivot to the other series. Beth also loves Logan Nine Fingers. Love him. I love that character so much. He's the best. Although it's a Logan Nine Fingers scene that fucked me up for like 2 days. It was his scene, and it's like books have like part 1, part 2.
Yeah.
It's like right at the end of like part 1 or something, the end of a part. And I was like, oh gosh, like it was a really dark moment.
Oh.
It like fucked me up. Like lightest of spoiler, basically for context. It's like he has to kill this guy who he actually respects and is a friend. And it was just kind of a wrong time, wrong place, wrong side of the situation thing.
Yeah.
And this is like a friend.
Oh,
and he has to kill him. And it's like brutally kill him. And it's just like, and then it just kind of ends. It's like, well, that's fucking life. Like that's like the end of this like the chapter basically. But they say back to the mud because he's like kind of like a Northman kind of thing. So he's just like back to the mud is what they say when people die. But like,
okay.
And I was like, oh, like it fucked me up the way he wrote it. Anyway, but yeah, it fucked me up. So people also love spoilers. Thank you.
Yeah, predictability.
I don't
know.
Here's the thing. There's established story arcs that people use for all of their stories. And the point is you write a different story using the same arc, and that's what makes it interesting. The arcs are there because they work.
Right. They work. People want to know.
I have a degree in story structure.
That's amazing.
Like, I have a whole degree thinking about this all day. Theater theory with literature bias. Like bias? I don't know why I said it that way, but basically it was like a degree in comparative literature, but with a theater focus. So I was doing that with plays and like story structure. So like that's all I thought about for like 2 years for my major. So I'm like, yeah, I know things about story structure.
We love it.
Like I'm not dumb. I just don't like smart things. Yeah, there you go.
I mean,
I like reading silly things. When it comes to those. Okay, so neurodivergent characters. Because you were talking about that one character who was autistic.
Yes, definitely Dragon Mage. And then Dragonbird and the Fern. She is dyslexic. They're just like, I'm trying to think of other ones. Oh, and it's not fantasy, it's sci-fi. But The Disasters by M.K. England is a standalone YA sci-fi with like literally representation for everything. Like we've got like one main character with anxiety, and like as somebody with anxiety, I'm like, yeah, this is how it is. Like this looks like what I feel like most days. Like
fair.
And like we have like a trans main character and a bisexual male main character, and it's just like this like found family group of ragtags that get kicked out of a space academy on day 1. Like day 1, and then everyone else is killed, and they manage to escape.
Right, well, this worked out.
And they're like, "Oh shit,
that's a freebie."
Yeah, they're like, "Shit, what do we do now?" Like they don't know each other, they don't know what to do, and now they're being tailed. So good.
Oh no, I can relate. I mean, I got kicked out of school on the 4th day. I got expelled, if that's not obvious to everybody. I went to a small Christian school and got expelled. Is that really a surprise?
No,
to anyone?
What I'm surprised about is that I did not get expelled from my small Christian school, and not through lack of trying.
Same. Like, I 4th day of school my senior year.
I didn't make it that far. I left of my own volition after 7th grade, finally. Yeah. But like, I tried so hard.
Oh, I tried too.
Like
I was already the Bible studies class we had to take. He called me a heathen.
That's what I call my kids.
Heathen by a teacher.
I mean, that's my nickname for my children.
Yeah, so it's like
they will answer to it. Like they will answer to "Hey, heathens."
It's not a bad thing.
It's a term of endearment.
Oh, I can think for myself. Yeah. Oh no.
Right.
I don't automatically hate gay people. What a tragedy.
What? Yeah. I did almost get expelled in like the 3rd grade, the 4th grade for reading Harry Potter.
They also thought Harry Potter was the devil at my school. And I was like,
Oh yeah.
Guys,
there were like
better
flyers
shit to worry about.
Right, there's others, like, there were flyers around the school that's, like, talking about, like, "Oh, don't let your kids read this satanic stuff, like, it'll rot their brain," and I'm like,
Okay.
I almost got expelled, and then they were gonna make me and my friends stand up in assembly in front of, like, the entire class, like, the entire school, and, like, apologize, and my mama was down there so fast, and it never happened. The apology never had to happen.
Yeah, it's like
My mom's not fun when she's angry.
yeah, it's a lot.
That's a lot.
I remember when I was getting kicked out, like I really tried to feel bad about it, but like I didn't.
Yeah.
And at 17, you just think you're an asshole kid. I'm really trying to feel bad that I'm getting kicked out of school, but like I don't. I 0% feel bad about it.
I never. I tried.
Anyway.
Right?
I was Bible class debates. Like I was always on the heathen side. Hey, gay people are people. How to debate that?
Yeah, like how I had already left by then, but one of their because I had some friends that still continued and finished there. Somehow, I don't know how they didn't get expelled either, because I'm like, how did you make it this whole time? And we're still
drunk on a field trip. Like I was a nightmare.
Right. I'm like, how are you still there? But like I remember them being told, and my friend debated the Bible studies teacher hard on this one, and she almost got I think she got suspended for like a couple days because he kept saying once you're married, like you can't say no to your husband. And my friend's like, there's a word for that. And he's like, yeah, you can't do that in a marriage. That's not a thing you can, like, that isn't something that can happen in a marriage. And you're like, but sir, consent is always enthusiastic. And like, if I'm tired, you have options that are not me.
Sorry, they're not allowed. They're not allowed to do this.
Oh yeah, no. I think men are. I don't remember. But
I don't think they were.
I don't remember. But I'm
it's
like, they debated hard on that one. Like your inability to say no because you have to please your husband. I'm like, that's some bullshit.
I had one teacher who was cool though.
Yeah, I had like one or two like.
I really liked him, and he taught psychology. They had one psychology class, which was already like. The Christian faith and psychology don't always vibe.
Don't mix well.
So like we had a substitute teacher one day, and I remember I lost my shit on this lady because she was so awful. And then his name, I'm not gonna say his real name just because like I don't want to say his real name, but like Mr. L, we'll call him. He came back and I was like, I couldn't believe her. She was just like this horrid bitch. And I said it in class and he just laughed because he agreed.
I mean,
and he was like a pastor at his own church, but like he was like genuinely cool.
That's awesome.
And he was just like people having sex before marriage. He's just like, I get it. You're try not to, but like you're both young and in love. Like it's gonna happen. Like he was more realistic about things. Like he was cool. So I had like one cool teacher. And he was
usually
really
like
nice.
what?
I was oh gosh, I could not do this fucking school. Anyway, so we went off another tangent.
Right.
Religious trauma. Let's go.
It's a point of, you know.
It's a thing. A lot of people have it. Okay, so self-pub.
Blue cover.
But the cover's blue. Okay, well, I mean, it's one thing.
Sword of Kaigen has a blue cover, and it's really good.
Someone just said Sword of Kaigen. Maybe.
It's an Asian fantasy with a mom main character, and it will break your heart. I was bawling by the end of that book. I loved it so much. It's like, if a book makes me cry, I'm probably giving it 5 stars. But Sword of
I mean,
Kaigen
if you
is-
have that big of a connection to it, obviously, hit you in the feels.
Yeah.
You're voting with you're rating with your heart.
I was rating with my heart. There's problems with it. Like the whole like
review with your brain, rate with your heart.
Like there's info dumps at the very beginning that were like a wall of text that were kind of hard to get through. But look, I still gave it 5 stars because my heart told me to.
There you go. That's what I do. I always round up too. I'm like, fuck it.
Right. You always round up.
You don't have a finite number of stars to give out.
Right?
Just give them all the stars you want. Like, who cares?
Right? Just all the stars.
Then
especially if
better
it's
stuff to worry
self-pub.
about.
I feel like I'm easier on self-pub too.
Same. You know, they don't have like all the bells and whistles that like a traditionally pub person would get with like a full-time editor and everything. So, you know, allowances should be made, but not too many because you still have to write a good book. Right. You can't write a piece of shit book and be like, well, you did your darndest.
You try. Yeah, no. But if it's good and it's like, I'll give some leeway.
A little leeway.
If it's, I'm like, oh, it could have used a little editing or a little, you know, then I'm like, you know what? I understand though.
I can say that about traditionally published books too.
That's true too.
So
I'm like, how did this get here?
Yeah, or like, oh, someone did you dirty.
Yeah.
Like that. Did the
editor
like you?
Like, were you mean to your editor?
Because
they missed some stuff.
They missed some stuff. So, fantasy romance. Yes. Let's have a little chit chat about it because we've been going for a while. It's been like an hour and a half, but we can talk for a little bit more. I'm not in a rush unless you're in a rush.
I am not.
So let me take your like taste barometer and then I will try to recommend you things.
Okay.
For fantasy, would you rather it be like old-timey or like contemporary? Like, oh, it's in Houston or something.
I'm good with either. But I probably old-timey, not necessarily old-timey, but like not our world. I do like not our world.
Well, like a lot of like swords or guns, basically.
Yeah,
like, do you want flintlock or like...
I want swords.
Swords, I mean... okay. Swords or guns? I'm like, how modern do you want it to be?
I do like swords.
Fair. Okay. What's your spice level?
I'm good. So I did read, and actually my friend gave me this. I don't know if you've read it. I forget what it's called. It's some like Alice in Wonderland romance. Oh, what is it called? But
I can think of a few. So like, I don't know.
It was of the trip.
Yeah. I mean, there's some things that are spicy for the sake of it.
A.K. Kuntz. Within the Wonder. That was the 3rd book.
I don't know. I've seen some weird stuff.
Yeah, but it was like a why choose. So we loved that.
Good poly romance.
It was good. Into the Madness. That was the 1st book. Into the Madness by A.K. Kuntz.
So you're fine with spice.
I'm good with spice.
Okay.
I expected ACOTAR to have my spice in it. Sadly,
it's a grower, not a shower.
It's a grower. I was like, what is this vanilla boringness? Like,
I mean, none of it gets very like. There's not really a level of kink in those books,
right?
But like, you know, it gets more explicit. I would say. Okay, so I have 2 I could recommend you.
Okay.
One's they're both kind of growers, not showers, I'll say.
Which I'm okay
with. Have you read Radiance by Grace Draven?
I have not.
That one's fun. It's almost kind of a little cozy in a way. It has peril and stuff. Like there's lots of battles and fights and stuff. But basically there's these 2 people and they're different like races or like species a little bit. She's like a human and he's like a other species that like looks physically different. Like they have like spiky teeth and their eyes are solid black and stuff. So like they're different species, but like, you know, they both have the same they have complementary genitals. So like it would work. It would work.
I think I remember like the cover of this one. It's
very cartoony. It's
cartoony in there. Okay, I remember the cover of that painted, one and wanting to be like, oh, that looks good.
But it's basically these two people who like form a friendship because they kind of get stuck into this political marriage.
Oh.
And neither of them really wants to do it, but they're like, they're gonna do it. And they meet and they're just like, well, you know, you seem nice. Like, we can make this work probably.
Right. We can make this work.
And then eventually they're like, well, you know, like, our genitals would fit together. Like, we could do that. You know? It takes them a minute to get there, but they're like,
I got
this could work.
I found a treasure box.
A treasure box?
I already have that one.
And still hasn't put on shorts. Every time I've sent him out, I'm like, go put on your shorts. Because he's just wearing like a long shirt.
I love that.
I'm like, but we do
same.
have... Right. I mean, you can't see when you're filming. But we do have his, like, their friends are coming over at some point today. For, like, I'm watching my friends' kids. And by watching them, I mean go play in the backyard. There's a hose and a little pool. Go get tired.
If you're bleeding, come get me.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Like, I'll sit on the porch and read while they all play. They're older kids.
Like, yeah. They're not toddlers. Like, you
no,
can just sit there. I get it. Okay.
All right.
So there's that one.
Good.
It's friends to lovers, definitely. And it's, you know, and they have different cultures too. And she has, you know, human eyeballs and their eyes are just all black. So it freaks them out that like we can like look around and they see our like pupils move.
Oh,
they're like, you just have these things rolling around in your face. What the fuck is that?
What is that?
And like,
good.
I don't remember if I'm just like, I wrote this in my brain or it happened in the book. But like, I feel like there's something with oral in there and where like they would never do it in his species because they have pointy teeth. But she doesn't have pointy teeth.
She doesn't have pointy teeth. Okay.
That's something new.
That's new. We like that.
And like, there's a whole thing with like potatoes. It's not sexy. It's not a sexy potato thing. But
okay.
Like, basically humans eat potatoes and like those race of other people think it's disgusting. They're like, that looks like a mollusk. Like it is some type of insect you have cut open. What the fuck is that?
I mean,
where they actually eat like live things that you have to stab. So it's like,
but potatoes are gross.
Here. Pot and kettle, like, you know.
Right? But
that one's really fun. There is a sequel to it, but I feel like book one feels like a complete story.
Okay.
So if you didn't read book two, it's fine. What's this book called? It's called A Promise of Fire by Amanda Boucher.
I want to say I remember hearing about that one.
So this one is it has the Greek gods in it. So it's definitely like fantasy world involving Greek gods. And the first book doesn't necessarily have smut, but it gets smuttier as it goes. It's a trilogy.
Okay.
So Promise of Fire. They just put out new covers that are pretty too.
Ooh. I just looked up the cover. Ooh.
Yeah, they're pretty new covers. The ones I have are kind of like cheesy looking. They're like,
yeah,
oh, girl with sword and fire. It's like lame, but like the new ones are like, oh, okay, that looks nice. That looks more like typical fantasy.
Right, I like it.
But he essentially, the main love interest, I will just say, he does technically kidnap her, but like in the nicest way possible. Like, I get it, and he's not like, it's not like a violent kidnapping. I'm giving him a pass on it, even though it's horrible. Because it turns out okay in the end. But yeah, like,
I mean,
there's no way you can not say it's kidnapping.
Right. It's kidnapping, but that's okay sometimes.
No one harms her. They just kind of make her come with them.
Yeah, like, all right, you gotta come with me.
No one like hurts her. No one like touches her or like does anything like untoward. They just make her come with them. So it's like, as far as kidnappings go, it's the best version.
Yeah. Like, I've read a lot of like fantasy romance that is not smutty.
Mm-hmm.
So like the Air Awakens series, that, I mean, I love it. And it's self-pub too.
Yeah.
And all of it's on like Kindle Unlimited. So like, but it's so good. And it's like I love the romance in it, but like it's fade to black. I'm like,
I want to see genitals. Like,
I was like, yeah, like I
like,
want
no.
this, but like we can spice it up a little, Elise Kova.
I want
like,
full penetration, thank you.
Have you read any of Elise Kova's like Married to Magic books?
I have not.
I've been debating because I love her writing. I have not read anything by her that I have not liked. Like I've read
I haven't read anything by her at all.
The whole Air Awaken series is really good. Okay. And then there's like a follow-up series that I just started reading. And then there's another like series in the world. Like, and they're all really good. But they're all like romance, like they're much more romance heavy. But fade to black. And I'm okay with that. But like sometimes I'm like, I know her Married to Magic books are supposed to be like more adult and like more
like,
romance.
With like a Fae King, right? Or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
I don't know.
Spicy?
I heard like weird
I've heard mixed reviews.
So I'm like, I don't know. I would try it. I haven't read anything.
I would try it. I mean, I think they're on Kindle Unlimited still. So like I feel like it doesn't like hurt me if I try it.
Fair. I want to recommend you this author. However, this is contemporary fantasy.
I'm okay.
But the world is so post-apocalyptic, it doesn't really feel like the normal world.
Ooh. That sounds good.
And it was a magic apocalypse.
Okay.
So like it happens in like Atlanta, but post-magical shift Atlanta.
Nice.
So it's a very different world.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna give it to you.
We're gonna try it.
Okay, so this author in general is like top-notch contemporary fantasy.
Yeah.
You would like it. I think people who don't like it, I'm confused by. But it's the Kate Daniels series by Alona Andrews.
Oh, I've heard good things about that.
I will say Magic Bites, the first book of it, is not the best book of the series. It's okay. Keep going. Get past this one, and then it picks up immediately book 2.
Okay.
Book 1 is a little up and down. I will admit that. But it's also a grower, not a shower, but then it gets spicy. Like it's kind of a antagonist to lover situation.
We like that.
They don't like bang right away. It takes some time to develop their relationship. Kate and Curran, he is like the shifter king, so he turns into a giant lion.
Nice.
And so like, you know, he's very much like, I am king of the shifters. Why aren't you in love with me? And she's like, no dick is that good, thank you. So that's kind of their vibe.
We love that.
But she's also super powerful, and it has like a lot of stuff going on in the background with it too. So that's really cool.
That sounds. I remember seeing like the covers and stuff to that, and everyone saying it's really good.
I love it. It's like 10 books though, so like.
I mean, I'm down.
But
I read a lot of
skinny
but they're small. That's
they're
how like
skinny.
the Air Awakens books are like 5 books in the first series, but they're all small like that.
Yeah, this is 260 pages.
Yeah.
Like they're little.
Like that's small. That's quick.
Yeah. There's another series. If you don't want to start with a 10-book series, but this is more fantasy driven, I would say. The other one happens in like Houston, and it feels Houston-y, but like alternate reality Houston.
Okay.
Basically, it's like alternate history, essentially. There was like in like the 1800s, someone invented a serum that unlocks magical abilities in people. And then he found out it was genetically transferred to children. So now you have all these magical dynasties that have grown.
That sounds cool.
So you have like this house is like a magic firehouse. Like they have magical fire abilities. This is like House Smith. I forget the house names right now. This one is like animal mages. So like it's a magical dynasties.
Okay.
So it feels Houston. Like I feel like there would be a Target. Like they could go to Target in this world.
They could go to Target.
There's also magical dynasties.
But I mean, it's kind of how we wish our world was.
Same. But it's also a trilogy. So
shorter.
It's only 3 books. Yeah. And so they get to banging faster, essentially.
In book 2.
Book 1. It's an enemies to lovers, so they have to grow.
Yes.
Grower, not a shower. So
like
book 2, Spicy. It is called Burn for Me, also by Alona Andrews.
Okay.
That one's I have to move stuff to get to. So, but
right.
Burn for Me. It's a trilogy. You can knock those out. Then there's a second trilogy, but if you want to continue, you can.
Okay.
But, very good. Very complex magical system.
Okay.
Because you have all these different houses and like their dynasties and like how they interact with each other. And maybe it's more sci-fi because it comes from a serum.
Still, that sounds
and also
fun.
Genetics.
Right.
But if we're just being purists, I would say maybe it's sci-fi.
It sounds fun.
It's fun. But yeah, those are the ones I recommend. I mean, Alona Andrews, they're just fun.
I've heard good things about that.
Yeah,
like
it's a husband-wife team.
Is it
so
really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And the husband, I think, was former military. So like when they have like action and like someone has a Sig Sauer, he knows what all the guns are. So like it's someone with like military experience writing action scenes.
That's fun.
So, and then you have someone who's like a romance background writing the smutty bits and the emotional bits.
It's perfect.
They blend well.
I love that. I have started reading a couple. Well, I've read one, like just contemporary romance recently.
Okay. Which one was it?
I read Geekerella. I felt like it was a good start. And I loved
YA though?
I think it is. Like it's like it's just like a sweet Comic-Con romance, and you're like, oh, like it's just adorable.
Nerd love.
And I was like, I love going to cons and doing all the things. Like it was adorable. And then Abby sent me The Love Hypothesis for my birthday. I'm gonna try it. I know.
Here's
it's
the thing.
So divisive.
I didn't like it, but like everybody seems to fucking like this book.
I know. That's why I was like, maybe I'll like this one. I do have a thing for Adam Driver.
Yeah, how do you feel about Raylo fanfic?
Yeah, I just like Adam Driver.
Honey, it is barely guised.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Raylo fanfic.
Oh yeah. I mean, you can look at the cover and be like,
I think the main guy's name is Adam.
I think it is.
For fuck's sake. Oh my god.
It is.
It's full Raylo fanfic. And like, I don't know. There was some weird things in the sex scene that I was like,
oh yeah.
Right.
But I do love Adam
I don't want to get
Driver.
demonetized, so I won't say exactly what's happening, but I'm just like, I don't think I'd enjoy that.
But I was like, I like Adam Driver in all of his movies. And
he is a lot of boy. He's a big guy.
And that Burberry commercial that he did with the horse.
I haven't seen it, but like I can picture it.
He's like shirtless running down the beach with a horse.
He's not riding the horse, he's just running with it.
He's like running with it. I think he rides it at the end. But like it's like running alongside this horse with no shirt on the beach. And you're like, why? But why not? But why not as well? But why would you wear a shirt?
Yeah, like no, I get it. He's a lot of boy. Like I get it. But oh my god. Anyway, Shadowless by Randall Mcnally. I have not read that. I don't think I've heard of it actually.
I don't think I have either.
Very cool. Let me see. I can look it up.
Right.
I have that ability. Okay. Okay. Well, I mean, it's got a cool cover. It looks kind of like Centurion with like a monster. What if the gods themselves wanted you dead? A young boy lies on a beach on a warm summer's day. Maybe it's Adam Driver. I don't know. Is there a horse? While trying to block the sun from his eyes. Oh gosh, this is a Greek name. Arfurius? Arfurius makes a shocking discovery. He has no shadow. Confused and bewildered, he asks his uncle why he is shadowless. What he learns is a terrifying secret that will change his life forever. Set in the Northern Realms, Shadowless is a fantasy novel about individuals born without a shadow. Spawned by the malevolent deities of this world, these children of the gods are persecuted at every turn. Hunted by the high priests who carry out the wishes of their gods, hunted by the shadow watchers, armed soldiers who are assigned to each temple and hunted by the gods themselves. Part mortal, part god, the Shadowless live for centuries and face a battle for survival, constantly on the run or hiding in far-flung corners of the northern realms. Soon their lives and fates become intertwined, expedited by the mysterious monk Amradin. Driven by a series of visions, Amradin travels through the northern realms, seeking out the Shadowless and trying to enlist their help to take a stand and fight back against the gods.
Huh.
It's got a lot going on.
A lot. It's only 99 cents on Kindle.
Oh, it's a bargain.
So it's 99 cents. And that is worth trying.
I mean, the cover is cool. I mean, it very much looks kind of like Sauron a little bit.
It does.
Like Sauron meets a centurion.
It does look like yes.
Interesting. Okay.
It does look interesting. We will add that to the list of gonna try this.
People recommend books to me in my live shows, and I love it because sometimes they're weird and sometimes they're great. And sometimes I'll read them.
All of the above.
Yeah, like one time I forget who wrote it. This book is called His Banana, and it's a romance. And it was terrible, but like it came up in there. But like I don't think people were recommending it. They just kind of found it, and I was like, "What is this?"
It was one of those like, how bad can it be?
Pretty bad. I was just like, how has they not been sued for sexual harassment every day of their lives? It's an office romance, and I was like, oh my word.
I have read. What is this guy's name? I lost a bet one time and had to read a book by Carlton Mellick III. And it was called The Haunted Lady Bits. And it was
vagina or lady bits?
The Haunted Vagina. It was very short, and I guess
thank goodness.
It's a romance. It's weird. Do not recommend.
How there ghosts in it, or is it just like
it's a portal to another world? His girlfriend's vagina is a portal to another world.
Like, but only his dick goes into the other world, or is he like
all of the? Nope. Yep. Oh no, he goes trekking through that portal. It's an experience, and apparently all of this author's books are like super out there like that.
It's just like a Chuck Tingle.
Yeah, literally. Like it's on par with like a Chuck Tingle, and you're like, there's something for everybody.
All right,
but
there you go.
It was so weird.
So weird. It sounds it. I was just like,
don't lose bets. No, he has to like shave at all of his hair so he can like make it through the portal. So he's like this hairless, like lubed up. Yeah,
digging in.
Yeah, and it was.
I don't like the picture I just made.
No, I'll be right back. My door rang. We've got the other heathens, but I'll be back.
Okay, well we're gonna wrap up. So
I'll be right back. Yeah.
Okay.
You can unlock the door, Willow. It's them. I'll just let her open it.
We'll wrap up since you have things to do. But again, thank you, Jessie, for hanging out with me and talking fantasy, among other weird things we talked about today. It was a fun conversation.
I am going to be trying more romance. I'm very excited.
Yes. Well, DM me. I will give you recommendations.
All the recs.
Love it. Again, on the way out, tell people where to find you. There's a link to your channel in the description down below. But
you can find me on The Bookish Mom on Instagram and on YouTube. And then I also have a mom blog, The Coffee Mom, also on Instagram. We have all the things, all of the things.
Love. Okay, so thank you so much for hanging out with me. I will let you get going back to your Saturday.
Yeah.
And we will do this again sometime.
Yes.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye,
Thanks for hanging out. Bye.